Vlog, I'm back in America. Now, first things first, vlog, I'm sorry. I've not been keeping you up to date. I've not been doing a good job letting you know what's going on. Do you forgive me? Of course you do, you're the best, guys, but seriously, I'm sorry. I haven't been doing a great job keeping you up to speed. Got product back, been trying to sell a bunch of markets, working on getting my website up, all these different kind of things. I've been working on a lot. So that's kind of the update. I'll update a little bit more later on. But what I want to do right now is actually show you my business pitch. I'm in a competition. I think I've mentioned this at my old university where I did undergrad, Azusa Pacific. So what I want to do is actually show my pitch. It's a 5-minute pitch, and then you do a bit of Q&A for about another 5 minutes. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm actually in the semifinals coming up in about a week and a half. So would love for you to watch it, give me some feedback, kind of hear a little bit about the business, kind of what we're about, if you haven't already. So love some feedback, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. All right, let's do it. Hello guys, my name is James Crawford. I'm the founder of Venture Leather Company. You know, a few years ago, I was working in Uganda with a social enterprise. Whenever I would come back to the States, I would talk with people and they would always tell me that they loved the company I worked for, but they weren't customers. The product was too expensive. And I found this time and time again. On top of that, when I was in grad school studying international development at UCSD, I realized that a lot of these companies, there's this huge consumer demand for consumers who want a product with a purpose, but they clearly aren't satisfied with the current options available to them. Products either underwhelm or the impact, we're just too cynical about it. So what I wanted to do was create a company with an objective impact model, something that holds me accountable, is cost effective, and has a product that absolutely wows people. So that's what I've done. Venture Leather Company, we make the best leather bags that have ever been made in Africa and then double down on our commitment to that community by investing 100% of the profit back into businesses in Uganda. To highlight how just competitive we are with our products, these are other companies in Africa that make their bags. Using a similar tote, which is this bag right here, they average retail for about $160. Our bag retails for $110 with more than an 80% margin. With some of our other products, as you can see, our prices are incredibly competitive, even with mainstream companies like Madewell. How am I able to do this? Well, it comes down to my local partner, the ability I have to source materials. I'm able to source the cheapest materials in the world and combine them with the cheapest labor in the world. My partner, Mr. Roy, born and raised in India, but has been in Uganda for more than 30 years. He's Ugandan through marriage, meaning he has trust and connections in both India and Uganda. He can do everything I can't do as a foreigner and also what my competitors can't do as a foreigner. Now with our business model, Venture's a for-profit company. We cover cost with the bags, cost to produce, cost to distribute. Everything above that, we invest into businesses in Uganda. What that means initially is that we're going to invest in our own capacity just like any company would. Since we're doing work in India that we can't quite do in Uganda right now, we're raising up our own capacity. Then as we grow and expand, we work with other organizations and people in Africa who are also doing this investment as well. These are a couple of organizations, all of which I already have contacts with. Now with the market strategy, a big reason where companies go wrong is that they want to tell people about the great work they are doing. They want to be the hero rather than having their customer be the hero. They produce controlled content where they control the narrative and tell the world how great they are. My strategy is different. Since last March, I've been video blogging my journey, my company. I have over 8 hours of content up on YouTube bringing people into this story because it's about our journey together. It's not about how great the work I'm doing, but it's about let's do this together. And so the content I create is all about driving things online. I'm going to be launching my online store in the next week or two. So it's all about direct-to-consumer right now with craft markets, artisan markets, but really pushing things online because that's where this mesh is going to thrive and we're going to grow. The target market initially is going to be with young professionals, socially conscious consumers who have a little bit more disposable income because leather is not the cheapest item that's out there. So we're going to focus on this niche market, and Solidifying with that is going to help us then to expand in the much larger US handbag market, which is valued at $12 billion. So while I'm funding this myself, working this by myself, I have an awesome group of advisors. I have a former Silicon Valley executive, a good friend, APU alum, who's done multiple startups in Africa and leads multiple investments out there, a professor at Point Loma, and Gio, who's working on his PhD at Oxford, focusing specifically on the leather value chain in East Africa. So to date, I have $5,000 in sales, including $1,000 just from this last weekend, projecting $100,000 for this year, and yes, projecting $1.5 million in year 3. If we really want to address the problems that we see in Africa, we have to dream big. I didn't start this company just to appear that I'm solving poverty. I actually want to do it. The product is incredible. I have a unique message, and I'm the right person to drive this company. Venture is going to succeed, and we're going to change the perception of Africa in the process. Thank you.
I have a couple things.
Yeah.
First of all, how long have you been in business?
So the first time we started selling product was beginning of December. So I met my manufacturer in Uganda about 3 years ago. I knew he was the right guy, but a very raw operation. So it's taken a while to get going.
So you've made 5,000 sales since December?
So about $4,000 just first 2 weeks of December. I was gone pretty much all of January in Uganda, in India. Got back 2 weeks ago. Picked up product last week. And so yeah, sold at a market this last weekend. And yeah, did $1,000.
That's incredible. That's really good.
Yeah.
My other comment was I wouldn't use the word cheap. I would say something along the lines of cost effective.
Okay.
Because that's going to devalue what you're doing.
Sure.
And you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the 15,000 if you win the competition?
Yeah, focus really on generating content to really drive online, because that's, the products are good, the margins are there, but it's really driving people online, letting the customer know, I'm here and I got some awesome bags. So I think I've talked to some people who helped me go to Uganda, create some awesome content, possibly use it for a crowdfunding campaign, but really get that online going.
It seems like you have a pretty strong business model already. I don't know. Once you get the website up to be able to sell the product, do you really need a whole lot of other pieces in place to make that
Not
happen?
necessarily. I only say that just because the online is the one thing I don't have yet. And that's really where things are going to go.
Right.
So, I have enough finance, I think, to do enough testing, do some A/B testing on Facebook and go. But I think definitely a crowdfunding campaign makes sense to really get that going just because the productions stop and start. I spent a month there, I spent a month here. So
do you have to be there in order for production to move forward?
So yes, and I think I need to be there when we're doing anything new.
Yeah.
On my way up here, my manufacturer in India called me. My guy from Uganda called me yesterday. So I have good relationships, but for instance, the shade of leather, if we're doing any changes,
Better
I might need to be, at this stage, I think it makes sense to go. Yeah.
Okay. So how much of that is going to go to travel expenses then, since you are going to be traveling a lot?
So it really, it is expensive. It costs about $2,000 a trip. But in terms of, these are 75-80% margins on these bags. So it really hasn't been much of an issue. If I do some good sales next 2 months, easily fund the trip.
Cool.
Have you looked at partnering or trying to put your products in any retailers?
Yeah, so there's a couple retailers I'm going to talk to. Part of the issue with retail is that, I'm stopping and starting a little bit. If things go well, I say, let me go to Africa, get more product. So I do want some feedback and I definitely see going to retail at some point. But I see that more down the line because, if I'm in Africa, that makes it a little bit hard to manage retail clients.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I'm one of the few, I think. Am I the only one that has seen these tubes twice? It's,
I think the only one
Yeah,
from
it's
the
good
other
to see. It's a
side.
really well polished and really well structured pitch.
Thank
I have
you.
a question about quality. So you're pitching the quality of this. How do you convey that to an online customer? Other than the advantage of giving back to Africa, how do you convey that quality message?
Yeah. So again, that's one of the challenges of online. I think right now I'm trying to tap into some people who have social media marketers. There's a couple people on YouTube that do product reviews. I'm trying to kind of get them, send them product, review it. So I want to tap into those channels. And so, some of the money could go to some larger social media influencers who have a little more reach, but you got to pay for it.
Yep.
And so people who have credibility, so that's not just they're taking my word.
So you mentioned that you're for profit, but you also said you're giving away 100% of your profit. Those two.
So I'm not giving away, I'm investing.
Investing? How so?
So basically it's a consumer product company that funds an investment vehicle. So if, maybe we do a hybrid structure,
Okay.
some nonprofit, some for-profit, but the whole idea is that rather than doing a donation, it's invested. Because that way
you decided on those
back.
projects or how the outlet's going to work for you?
Yeah, so initially it's going to be all in our own capacity, just because a lot of this work we're contracting in India.
Right.
So it's initially going to be in our own factory. I mean, we can do everything from the hide to the finished product, but we have no working capital,
Right.
So a lot of it's going to be initial, our own capacity, but then within our own initial network and with some of the partners that I listed that are already doing small business investment in Africa.
Okay. Is there have you registered the company as a specific type, like an S corp or C corp or LLC?
It's
or
a
anything
sole
like that?
proprietorship right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, thanks so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Do you have it in
It's for
black?
sale.
I do.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Do you take Venmo or how do you want money?
I can do Venmo.
All right.
So what'd you think? If you have any comments, suggestions, let me know down below. Trust me, the more critical, whatever you have, I appreciate that. I want that feedback. I got the next round, like I said, in about a week and a half. Hopefully just gonna crush it. There's definitely some tweaks I wanna make, a couple things I want to adjust, but feeling good about it. So that's it for this update. You guys are awesome. We'll talk more in depth about what's going on right now, next vlog. But until then, peace.